Carr and Steinbach tip it up. And number 5 in green, Obi Agbin, controls the opening tip.
This is a team that will spread the floor. They don't have a lot of size, a lot of driving ability.
Here's Skillings, transferred from Cincinnati, blocked out of bounds by Steinbach.
And there's that driving we talked about, but Steinbach is a terrific freshman. We talked about his IQ for the game, Rich. Terrific hands, Mickey Mouse hands.
Yeah, huge mitts. What's new about this Baylor offense this year, Frank?
Well, we've seen through the years, they've had great size inside. This year's team, they've got some injuries, so the primary strength of this team is 5 wing players who can all put it on the deck.
Agbin threw it away. Here's Bryson Tucker on the right wing. And J.J. Mandequit, a freshman, number 23 in white. He is a pass-first point guard. And he turns it over. Number 12, Michael Ratai. A lot of the offense going to run through him this year for Scott Drew.
I think what you just saw on the defensive glass, Rich, anybody can handle the ball for Baylor.
Carr pushed. First foul of the game is going to be called on Bryson Tucker.
Scott Drew's redshirting one big man. He's got 2 others injured. So the strength of this 8 or 7-man rotation we'll see tonight is certainly on the wings. They have a group of wing players that are proven at the power conference level. Skillings, Ratai for sure.
Here's Ratai alone for 3. And it's off the back iron. A fight for the loose ball, and Brooks Wells says it's going to be Huskies basketball. We talk about Baylor having an all-new roster. Danny Sprinkle's Huskies have only 2 returning players.
Exactly, and they've got 2 very good freshmen. Not only Steinbach, but J.J. Mandequit, you mentioned. He had a great high school career, a great USA basketball career as well.
Here's Wesley Yates. Gives it up to Lothan Somerville, the transfer from Rutgers. We mentioned Danny Sprinkle in his 2nd season in Seattle. Last year was forgettable for him, but the 49-year-old before that had led 3 straight teams to the NCAA tournament. You're really high on him.
Oh, he's a terrific coach, Rich. I watched him coach at Montana State, his alma mater. Took them to 2 tournaments, Utah State. Now they're rebuilding.
Somerville saves it from going out of bounds, nearly throws it away. Here's Yates in the paint. First 2 of the game for Wesley Yates, the number 2 scorer at USC a year ago.
What you're going to like about him is he loves to put the ball on the floor and use that big body to get to the rim. And Danny Sprinkle told him when he caught the ball at midcourt, go.
One of Coach Sprinkle's goals this year is to play faster. Contested 3 off the mark for the freshman Yesufu, but he steals it, tries it again, and misses.
Very confident young man. He missed his first 6 shots of his debut on Monday, still ended up with 24. This team is a set play team, Rich. That means they're going to run plays strictly for certain players. Right now you see they're trying to go inside.
Here's Somerville working on Ratai. 5 on the shot clock, 2 feet in the paint, and the jump hook goes for Lathan Somerville.
Nicely done. Last year he played at Rutgers with the 2 precocious NBA lottery picks, Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey.
He is now 6 for his last 6. Is 5 for 5 in their win against Denver.
Take a look, Lathan Somerville. He's a big kid. He's grown since high school, and a good job of getting that ball deep in the paint, shooting it over that left shoulder. His dad, an outstanding player at Bradley University and a longtime European pro.
And there's the future Hall of Famer, Scott Drew, 55 years young, 15 wins shy of 500 for his career.
Well, we say it every year, but it's one of the great rebuilding jobs in the history of college basketball. Now in his 23rd year. Hard to believe how fast it's gone, but he's already got a national championship under his belt.
They won that back in 2021. UW, for their part, trying to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2019. They look like they have the roster that can do it, albeit in a very crowded and talented Big Ten this year.
Yeah, but you know they're one of their top players, Desmond Claude, not playing tonight. He and Wesley Yates, you mentioned Yates, they were the 2 leading scorers at USC last year. In this new normal, Rich, free agency, both of them decided to come to Seattle.
First 2 points of the game from the free throw line from Michael Rataj. Somerville, nice spin move, and they're going to count the basket.
Well, this is what you like. Danny Sprinkle knows that Baylor is shorthanded inside, so he is pounding the ball inside to Steinbach and Somerville. Take a look right there. Rataj trying to draw the charge.
And with all due respect to the sophomore Lathan Somerville, we would expect to see that move from Hannes Steinbach.
Yeah, but Somerville getting a start tonight. He did not start in the previous 2 games.
8 for 9 on the season coming in from the free throw line, now making 9 for 10. And Washington has an early 5-point lead. 3 minutes gone by from Waco, Texas. Baylor comes in 1-0. And there's a slam by Caden Powell, the first ever Waco resident to be a scholarship player for Scott Drew.
That was a side pick and roll. They know that Washington's going to be aggressive, so he just slipped out of it.
0 and white. Kimari Peterson goes off the window for his first 2.
I love this young man. He's a transfer from East Tennessee State. He's a great story because he started basically at the ground floor of college basketball, and now he's in the Big Ten.
SoCon Player of the Year a year ago. That 3 ball off the mark from Dan Skillings. And a foul called on the floor. Washington started.
I want you to watch this, Rich. There's a fake ball screen. He just slips out of it. Somerville thinks he's going to have to help on the ball screen. And Powell did a good job right there of leaving his man and getting to the basket.
So 20 seconds on the shot clock, and Obi Agbin will inbounds under Baylor's own basket. Skillings thought about the 3. Now he kicks it out to Agbin. Short offensive rebound. No good from Powell, and Steinbach clears.
This is a well-oiled machine. We watched 2 really good practices the last couple days.
15:58 to go. Washington
Supposed to be a one and done, and he was, and he's off to a great start in the NBA. So in some sense, Baylor has suffered from doing an incredible job of recruiting.
Yeah. 15:58 to go. These new look Bears down by 5 to the Washington Huskies, coming in at 2-0 after their win earlier this week against Denver. We talked about what Washington wants to do offensively, Fran. What about this new look Bears defense?
Well, they're going to play, they used to be a switch all 5 positions defense last year. This year, with the addition of Ron Sanchez, who came from Tony Bennett's family tree, they're going to pack it in. We call the pack line defense. That means you protect the paint at all costs, something they're not doing right now because the Huskies are really dominating that painted area.
That was another offensive rebound, and the putback by Frank Kepnaugh, the grad student. They call him Frank the Tank in Seattle.
Yeah, it's great to see him out here. He's missed parts of 3 seasons, but it's great to see him back on the court. An outstanding student, already working on his master's engineering degree.
Here's Carr, 4 on the shot clock. He's got to go at 28 in their opener. The follow and the foul. Caden Powell will go to the line and try to complete a 3-point play.
This is a young man, as you mentioned. He's from Waco. He started his college career up at Wyoming, transferred to Rice, and then how cool is it for him to come back home? Mom is a professor in the law school. She's here tonight, and she's getting to watch her baby. Just a good, solid, tough, hard-nosed inside player.
Talk about Frank Kepnaugh being smart. Caden Powell, another one. Engineering major here in Baylor, play in front of the home crowd, completes the 3-point play. And there's Mom, a longtime law professor here at Baylor.
Good
Here's
defense.
Diallo.
Yep. keeping the ball out of Steinbach's hands. They've done a good job with that.
Yates spins, 2 feet in the paint, kicks it back out. 10 on the timer. Diallo misses the 2-point shot, and a foul's gonna send it the other way. So Kepnon called for his first foul. And here comes Isaac Williams, a transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
And he's only a sophomore. He's got great speed. He gets to the paint easily. Not a great shooter, but certainly somebody that can break a defense down, and they might need that ability here shortly.
10 on the shot clock. Carr gets to the cup and draws the foul.
Now, we mentioned this kid, Rich. He started his career at Tennessee, but he was behind Dalton Knecht, some other really good players. And we saw him last year in the second part of the year, Big 12 play, practicing with the team. He was absolutely outstanding in Baylor's silver medal performance in the World University Games. And Scott Drew told us he might be the best athlete that he's coached in 23 years here. And that's saying something.
That is saying
all the great players that they've had.
And I love what Scott said about that trip to Germany, because it's such a brand new team. He said going to Germany for us was like going on a date with your wife without your cell phone. It counts like 10 dates when you're in public and a cell phone.
Well, in the world of college basketball, speed dating, when it comes to the transfer portal, I think that trip really was a positive for this Baylor team. Remember, they have 0 scoring returning from a year ago. Just incredible.
One of 3 major programs, the others being Memphis and Miami, with no players returning from last year's roster. They're 5 for 5 from the stripe, and that's put them right back in this game, down just 2, closing in on 14 minutes to go in the first half.
They've done a really good job of keeping the ball from Steinbach.
Yates guarded by the freshman Yesufu. 10 on the timer.
I like it. Oh, good defense.
Good hands by Williams. And here's Yesufu.
Huskies had the pick and roll set up, but great hands defensively. That was one way to get Steinbach the ball, but Mandequick couldn't get it over to the defense.
Bears in the midst of a 7-0 run to tie this game up. Here's Mandequick. He's not going to shoot it a lot. 3 to shoot for the Huskies. Double team on the wing. Mandequick squeezes it off, and Williams comes away with it. But it's taken away by Peterson, and an easy flush by Steinbach.
Yep, this kid Peterson, you mentioned SoCon Player of the Year, but he's a gritty, tough kid. When I asked the coaching staff if they thought he could play at this level, they said he's from Gary, Indiana. I said, enough said. And he plays such a great team game.
Here he is with the ball, spot up 3, in and out.
Now, this young man started at St. Louis University. He could not get off the bench. He goes to junior college, and then the rest is history. But watch Tunde Yesufu with the breakaway. Terrific athlete. Remember, he was the dunk contest winner in the McDonald's game last year. And some people call him like a baby Anthony Edwards. Certainly not as good as the Ant-Man, but the credentials speak for themselves.
You mentioned that slow start in their first game against UTRGV. He ended up 10 for 16 from the field and 7 rebounds. Yates off the mark. And Yesufu lost the handle. Mandequick takes it himself and finishes.
Terrific play by the freshman. He's not going to shoot a lot, Rich, but that time he's had a chance to get to the rim. They took away Steinbach, and he went right at it.
Already 6 Huskies in the scoring column. They're up 4, 12 and a half to go.
JJ's from Hilo, Hawaii. Played last year with AJ Debansa at Utah Prep.
Ratai, spin move, soft touch by Michael Ratai. They expect and need a lot.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen so far, that 5 out, they usually got 4 guys on the floor that can get to the rim off the dribble.
Ratai, a Karl Malone Award finalist last year. Yates can't find the mark yet.
Watch the speed of Williams.
Ratai left his feet. Here's Yesufu in the corner, short on the three. And it goes out of bounds to Washington. We'll take a timeout here.
It's kind of ironic to see the two freshmen out here for the Huskies because they battled in the championship game of the Under-19 World Cup this summer.
He's so humble and hardworking. Danny Sprinkle was telling us when he asked him what his goals were for his freshman year, he said, "Oh, if I can average 7 points and 6 rebounds."
And right now he's averaging 17 and 12.
Peterson, tough two from the baseline.
He really has an it factor for this team. How about this? He transferred, right? From East Tennessee State. They voted him a captain. Tells you a lot. I mentioned Gary, Indiana. Doesn't get a lot tougher than a young man that comes from the region, as we say. Again, watch Baylor trying to spread it out to get downhill. He dragged that pivot foot and didn't call it.
Skillings with the turnaround. First two of the night for the Cincy transfer.
He's a young man we watched for 2 years, Rich, and I really felt like he lost his confidence for whatever reason. And I think he's going to have a really good senior year.
Somerville, a little bit out of his range. Fight for the loose ball, and Washington's got a fresh 20. Mandequit, no whistle. Now there's a late whistle.
Well, there had to be something called because there was too much contact, and Doug Sermons processed it all. Let's see. Defender there. I think he's there. I don't mind the official blowing a whistle a tick late if he's going to process it and get it right. And I believe he got that call right.
Here's Obi Agben. He was the World Game MVP on that trip to Germany. Carr from the corner off the mark. Chased down by Ratai. Now Agben, 10 on the shot clock.
Nice pass.
Nice feed inside. And another 2+1 for Michael Ratai.
A terrific pick and roll right there. Ratai opened up quickly after the screen, and Obi put it right on the money. Steinbach wasn't able to get legal. Watch this quick roll out of it. Terrific job. Steinbach's late. Basket counts. And when you're in pick and roll, Rich, and you're a big guy, it's so important to get out of that screen quickly because it really puts pressure on the help side defense. Really good job.
And that's the second foul on the freshman Hannes Steinbach,
Yep.
so he goes to the bench. That's a Germany on Germany foul.
That's right. Ratai, a little bit older. He comes from Oregon State, where he played 3 seasons. He came up out of the Radio Farm Ohm program, which is really well known for developing young players in Europe and in the NBA.
And here's a good early sign for Scott Drew and company. Michael Ratai, who was held to just 5 points on 1 for 6 shooting in their season opener, now has 7 points to lead the Bears. 10 points shy of 1,000 for his career. And Baylor has their first lead of the game. And now they look to add to it with the Ratai rebound.
Baylor's doing a great job the last few possessions of keeping that ball out of the paint. You'll see, Rich, they go to a 4-out offense and try to spread it to get downhill, just like that.
Agben feeds Skillings off the window.
And right now, they're playing with 4 guards and a small forward, and it's really spacing the floor, and that's how Baylor is likely to have to play all season.
Second dime for Obi Agben. Diallo surrounded by green jerseys. Now Bryson Tucker in the paint, and he knocks it down. Seventh Husky to score. Baylor with the ball again, 4 of their last 6 from the field, but they turn it over on this possession, and a foul is going to be called on the freshman Yesufu.
Really good save by J.J. Manderquist. Ball going out of bounds. He saved it underneath Baylor's basket, but he knew who he was throwing it to.
Well, it's Super Tuesday. ESPN men's basketball has a doubleheader. 9th-ranked Kentucky and 11th-ranked Louisville at 8 Eastern. Then it's number 23 Creighton and number 21 Gonzaga, also available on the all-new ESPN app. What a rivalry that is in the Bluegrass State.
Yep, two high-strung coaches, Mark Pope, Pat Kelsey. Did you see Gonzaga last night?
Yeah.
They are older than 10 NBA teams, I'm just telling you. They've got like 4 or 5 6-year guys.
A clinic against Porter Moser and the Oklahoma Sooners. And the foul's going to be called on Cameron Carr.
That's interesting now. Brooks Wells right on top of that. From our vantage point, it looked like Cam Carr was legal. Let's take a look right here. Yeah, see, I think he was legal. Remember, once his 2 feet are on the ground, he's allowed to move sideways or obliquely, which I think means on an angle, but I thought that time that was a charge.
Caden Powell, the long arms of the law, guarding the inbounds. They get it into Yates. Lefty off the window, no. And the rebound cleared by Dan Skillings.
Really good activity on the defensive glass by the Bears. Probably the last part of this first half. Obi's been quiet from deep. Remember, he's a big-time shooter.
Here's Carr from 3.
He's locked in, and you know the idea is to get the guys, the team, to work together, and also to learn that they can give more than they really have. Coach Commander McGinnis said that their workouts were the equivalent of 4 basketball games over 2 days. That's a sweet move. Yep.
Baylor comes away with the loose ball. Here's Yesufu up the right side.
Tunde knows how to score 3,500 points in high school.
This 5 that's on the floor, you can expect a lot of minutes from them this year for Scott Drew.
You see how they're spreading the floor. It's basically a 4-guard offense. Got away with a push. Nice move.
Created some space and took advantage.
Yep. Not a lot. No harm, no foul. But he's a strong kid and very, very humble, hardworking. Nice job right there.
Kepnang on the roll, but he missed the bunny.
That's 2 in a row that Frank was point blank.
Largest lead of the game for the Bears. And they can't add to it on that missed 3 by Agba. Down goes Kepnang. And he clears to Wesley Yates. Yates in transition.
That's a good move. Wesley
drew the foul.
Yeah, Rich, you can tell, Rich, Wesley Yates with that big body loves to get downhill. Last year, 60% of his shots came in the paint. And when he's in transition and you're not set defensively, he is going to go to the foul line. And those Husky fans who followed this young man's career, he signed with a guy you know well. Who's your
Mike Hopkins.
Mike Hopkins, that's right. He redshirted that year. Mike got fired. He transferred Wesley to USC, and then he came back this past season to continue his career at UW.
And as you know, Fran, he's got family ties with the Huskies as well. His cousin Quincy Pondexter, now on the bench.
Quincy was with Mike Hopkins, went to USC. He came back, and cousin Wesley returned. That man from Beaumont, Texas, so he's got a good following here tonight.
And Quincy Pondexter, one of the all-time great Washington Huskies. 1,700 career points, a first-round pick when he left Washington. Now an assistant coach for Danny Sprinkle, and his cousin drops 1 or 2 from the free throw line. It's Isaac Williams, 10 and green, running the point for Scott Drew and the Bears.
Oh, good slip out again.
And Powell missed the dunk, contested by Somerville.
Well, they try to get that same thing again. Defense shows hard on the screen, and Powell slipped out.
Yates got to the cup.
That's what he does, Rich. He is a wide body guard.
5 for Wesley Yates, 5 for Lathan Somerville to lead the Huskies. They're down by 3 with 6.5 to go in the first half. Yesufu traveled.
Last year, this guy drew about 4 fouls per 40 minutes, Wesley Yates, so he knows how to get himself to the basket. And there, a little Euro step. Nice job of finishing off the backboard. And remember, we just showed that graphic. Desmond Claude is out right now, and he averaged 15 points a game at USC with Yates, and they're hoping to have him back very, very soon. Ankle injury that's healing pretty nicely.
Zoom Diallo lost it out of bounds. It's going to stay Washington basketball, and Hannes Steinbach is set to check back in with 2 fouls.
And I like this because I'm a big believer now. Don't foul your better players out in the first half. And Hannes has to learn now to play physically without committing a silly foul. But they do not want that Baylor lead to grow without arguably their best player out on the court right now.
Started his career with 21 and 7 against Arkansas Pine Bluff.
The call on the
Followed that
floor
up.
was out of bounds to Washington. The coach for Baylor is challenging that call.
Okay, new rule this year.
Something new.
Yep. Now, the officials can only review the following plays: basket interference or the restricted arc. Right here, boy, it looks like it's off white, but it better be conclusive. And what has to happen, Rich, if you're a coaching staff, is you have to practice the challenge. You know, you have to be able to have a system in place where you have somebody telling you in real time, coach, challenge it. That ball looks like it was hit off white, and the new rule is if you win the challenge, you get one more challenge and you keep your timeout. If you lose a challenge, you lose the opportunity to challenge again, and you lose the timeout. I think they're going to win this challenge based on what we just saw. And one more time, Rich, officials cannot review any out-of-bounds calls in any part of the game unless it's a coach's challenge. In the final 2 minutes.
After review, the call on the floor has been reversed. Baylor wins the challenge,
so
retains their timeout.
So what we thought was exactly what happened. Roger Ayers came over and told us that Baylor won the challenge.
So a calculated risk,
Yeah.
not so calculated when you get it right.
Yeah, exactly. I would say this philosophy is you better be absolutely sure in the first half if you're going to challenge, because you may need that challenge late in the game. But again, it's got to be great communication on that bench between the video guy who's holding that iPad and the head coach.
So instead, it's Baylor basketball with a 3-point lead coming up on 6 minutes to go in the first half. Looking to improve to 2-0 on the season and playing in a gym that they have had terrific success in. That one off the mark. Here comes Diallo up the right side.
That's a nice job.
Zoom Diallo with 2. That's the 8th Washington Husky in the scoring column. Washington down 1.
I'm going to tell you why that looked like I-35 right there. Is because Hannes Steinbach sealed his man in the paint and did not allow help defense to help on that drive. Really well done.
The veteran Ratai working against the rookie Steinbach, and he gets it to go. A game-high 9 for Michael Ratai.
This is going to be a post-up.
Here's Steinbach.
Yep.
Looked easy, but he missed it. Now Ratai, the big man, leading the break. Corner 3. Off the back iron, offensive rebound. Williams in the paint. That's where he does damage, but he comes up short.
I like the pace.
It's a Huskies kind of pace, but they can't convert.
Baylor's partaking.
Williams will go to the line and shoot a pair.
Now this is interesting because Williams is great at getting to the paint, but he is a very poor career foul shooter. Let's go back, Rich. I want you to watch this drive by Zoom Diallo, because Hannes Steinbach is not going to do anything but seal his man on the inside, and he's not doing anything illegal. Look how good he uses his butt, and there is nobody to come over and help. That's what you call a high IQ play from a young man that is just such a smart player. You got to remember about this young man. He played professional basketball last year as an 18-year-old in one of the best leagues in the world, the German BBL.
Williams misses the first. Well, top 20 teams highlighting next Sunday afternoon's women's basketball schedule. Number 9 NC State coming off a loss today to USC. They host number 17 TCU at 1. Then on ESPN2, number 20 Louisville takes on Clemson. You could always watch both on the all-new ESPN app as well. We saw the Lady Bears of Baylor, number 16 in the country, earlier today win their
I don't think they're going to be 16 tomorrow because they knocked off number, what was it, 7, I think, Duke. That's a foul. That's going to count. That's going to count. That's also a new rule this year. On a drive, the shooting motion does not end when you pick up the basketball. You get one step. Let's take a watch. Last year, this would have been a no foul, no shot. But you are allowed one extra step once there's a foul to finish your movement, and we call that continuous motion. Very, very nicely done.
Not quite as liberal as you see in the NBA, but
not quite.
A step in that direction.
That's 4 steps.
Steinbach misses the free throw, and Peterson misses the 3 badly.
And I think they've got Ratai inside.
And if that's the case, that's Michael Ratai's second foul. So both teams in the bonus now, 4:26 to go in a 4-point game. And that'll send Lathan Somerville to the line to shoot.
You mentioned it earlier. He's a pretty good free throw shooter for a big man.
9 for 10 on the year so far in their first 3 games.
I talked to him today about his dad. We mentioned a terrific player at Bradley. Played a long time in Europe. He only retired in 2019. And Lathan said that he lived in places like Germany and France. And I said, right next to Hannes Steinbach, I said, "Do you speak German?" to Lathan. He goes, "Nah." My European friends say if you know 3 languages, you're trilingual. If you know 2 languages, you're bilingual. If you know 1 language, you're American.
And Somerville misses the front end to the 1-and-1. Baylor 2-point lead and the ball. Cam Carr, surrounded, somehow gets it up and in.
He stayed with it. Wesley Yates tried to poke it loose, but Cam kept good control of that ball.
Used part of that 7'2" wingspan to get that one off the window.
Baylor's done a good job of keeping that ball out of the paint. It's a good job by Cam Carr right there. We call that the pack line.
Scott Drew's associate head coach.
Saw a good example right there.
5 on the timer. Tough 2 in the paint by Bryson Tucker, his second bucket.
Rich, that was good defense. That's just a really tough shot by a young man who was a McDonald's All-American, did not have a good freshman year at Indiana, and he's kick-starting his career in Seattle. Really good move. He's the X factor, Bryson Tucker, for this Husky team.
Carr created space and takes advantage. First player in double digits, Cameron Carr with 10, and it's a 5-point Baylor lead. Peterson kept it himself, and another whistle.
Cam Carr, explosive athlete with range. 6'5", get to know him, folks, because he's going to be a factor in the Big 12. Stays with it, finishes at the rim, and then how about this one? Lighting it up from deep. These 2 teams will get better and better as the season goes along. Just keep in mind, there's just so many new faces out there. All these college coaches now know what it's like to be a junior college coach, where you have a player for 1, maybe 2 years.
It's 2 free throws for Kimari Peterson, who now has 5 on the game. Peterson 15 times in his career has gone over 20 points a game. One thing that Danny Sprinkle likes about him, he said he could be an end-of-possession guy, too. Yes. What does he mean by that?
Well, when the clock goes down, you know, you've got to have somebody that can create a good look at the basket. And they have a couple guys like that. I think Yates can do that, and certainly Kimari Peterson can do that as well. Baylor's got a couple guys that can certainly do that as well. And this guy with the ball can do it. Good
Carr,
skip.
skip pass.
Good skip.
Corner three.
Good look.
They can't pay it off.
Tunde is not bashful, and I mean that in a good way. He's very confident, and he can heat it up.
Freshman on freshman now. Yesufu guarding Mandequit.
Good hands.
Good hands.
Yep.
That wingspan coming into play again.
Second time tonight that Mandequit's turned it over on a pick and roll play because of his size.
With a hand in his face. And Cam Carr continues his good night. Well, there hasn't been a lot of good three-point shooting, but don't tell Cam Carr, he's got 3 of them.
He's got a bunch of family watching this game tonight. We asked if his dad, Chris, was going to be here. He said, no, I'll be home watching on TV. And of course, Chris played 6 years in the NBA. Long-time coach. I know he's proud of what his son is accomplishing.
He would have had a slam dunk championship to his name were it not for somebody named Kobe Bryant back in 1997. Here's Agbo. Cohen.
Watch out!
Oh, and he lost the handle. I thought they would blow a whistle, but Caden Powell picks up the trash.
He faked the dunk.
Mandequit found the seam.
And I like that because JJ is such a pass-first point guard that during the season, when he gets those seams, he's got to go attack the rim, or teams are just going to bluff at him and make him shoot the ball, but he's got to stay aggressive. He's going to be a very, very good player at Washington, averaging 8 assists a game right now.
10 on the shot clock, 1 minute to go in the first half. Agbo still can't find the bottom of the bucket, scoreless in the first half.
Big minute for the Huskies. Just get this lead down another couple points.
What do you think Danny Sprinkle wants to do on this possession?
He's got guys that can make plays. You know, let's take a look. We talked about the man with the ball right here. Into the shot clock, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. This
Gives
guy
it up to Yates. Yates 2 feet in the paint. Can't get it to go. And a whistle, foul on Lathan Somerville.
And Wesley babied that shot. Instead of going right through the shot blocker, he babied it up there. He knows. But how about Cam Carr now? Started off slowly, Rich. Wasn't really involved early, but he certainly heated up. And then here I thought we were going to see a highlight reel, but it was the fake dunk play. It always works.
The Bears faithful collectively holding their breath for a highlight show dunk. He's had a couple of those already this year. Now it's Caden Powell at the line. And Powell misses the first. He'll have another one coming up. Week 10 Monday Night Football tomorrow night. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and the 6-2 Eagles taking on Jordan Love in the 5-2-1 pack at 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app. Peyton and Eli will be on ESPN2 for that. Coverage kicking off with NFL Live at 3 Eastern in Green Bay, then SVP and the Monday Night Countdown crew at 6 Eastern.
Got to get one shot here.
Shot clock is off, 20 seconds to go in the first half.
Probably a pick and roll here. Let's see if Steinbach sets it. He's really good at coming out of that screen quickly. That's nice.
7 to go. Yesufu blocks it out of bounds with 4.9 left.
Now Steinbach set a great screen, but they stayed with him so he could not be the intended receiver. And that forced Diallo to go to the basket, and just a little too much length. Look what they're doing here, Rich. You're seeing this a lot this year in college basketball. The big man on the inbounder.
What you like to call special teams right now.
Special teams, yep. Got time.
3 to shoot. Peterson does. Look good off his hand. Tucker can't finish with the follow dunk.
Here, now the head coach at McNeese State. So found a home, and I'd say right now things are looking up for that young man's future.
It's Washington ball in the white uniforms to start the second half. Freshman sensation Hannes Steinbach held relatively in check by this Baylor new pack line defense tonight.
Yeah, they've done a good job of keeping that ball from the inside. There's a good roll right
Here's
there.
Steinbach, and he finishes.
Really good job. What I love about him, Rich, big guys, if you're watching, when you set a ball screen, get out of the screen quickly, because then you put really pressure, a lot of pressure on the help side defense, and he got him crease and was able to finish.
Coming off a double-double last time out, Steinbach now with 6 points and 5 boards for Danny Sprinkle.
Remember early in the game, Danny Sprinkle went inside to Somerville. I think right off the bat, he wants to continue to go inside.
And Tunde Yesufu gets in the scoring column to start the second half with his first 3.
I'll tell you what, he's got amnesia, because it doesn't matter if he misses 1, 2, 3 in a row. He plays with great confidence. And he's not a ball hog, he just knows that he can score.
That one short by Tucker. Offensive rebound out to Diallo. And that one's short as well. We talked about the 2 freshmen at the top of the telecast.
Yep.
Let's check in now.
Watch him roll and watch the hands. Great hands, good finish inside. And then Tunde Yesufu, who is a powerful young man, but also has a great shooting stroke. And when you score 3,500 points in high school, you don't do it one way, you do it in a variety of ways.
Yesufu, the 8th McDonald's All-America to come to Waco and play for Scott Drew, and all of a sudden, the 3s are starting to fall in the second half.
I like the set play. They tried to get Skillings going, and they sure did.
Largest lead of the game now for Baylor.
Good help, D.
Diallo
Yep.
silences the crowd. Skillings, heat check. Now Diallo working on Obi Agbo. And an offensive foul called. Good position by number 5 in green.
Now, if we show that again, let me just tell you the rule. The officials will allow the first contact. Offense, defense, they'll allow the first one. Okay, watch both of them are going to bump each other right there. The second one has to be called. So you really have to have a good IQ there if you're the offensive player, because if there's a second contact, they are not going to let that go.
7th turnover by the Huskies. 2nd charge taken by this Baylor defense. Yesufu. Good defense by the Huskies that time. Here's the leak out from Diallo. He hangs and doesn't hit, but a late whistle.
And I think Brooks Wells was waiting to see if the defender was going to stay legal. And from his point of view, he must have thought that watch the hands now of Carr. Do they come down? It looks like he got ball.
Crowd doesn't like it. 3rd foul on Cam Carr.
Yep. I've said this many times, and I'm an officiating aficionado, if you will. I don't mind the late whistle when you're processing it. Couldn't tell right there. It did look like he got all ball. But again, great crew tonight. This is a crew that you could put in a Final Four. And of course, these guys have been in Final Fours.
Doug Sermons, Brooks Wells, and Roger Ayers. We talked about Tunde Yesufu being a McDonald's All-America for Scott Drew. Danny Sprinkle's got 2 of them on his roster.
Yes, he does.
Bryson Tucker and this young man,
Yep.
June Diallo from a couple of years ago.
Now, we talk about Seattle, the 206. Very proud of their basketball. He's from the 253, which is the Tacoma area. I wanted to let him know that I knew that today.
All our friends in the Great Northwest appreciate that.
Great basketball history in that part of the country, obviously.
Here's Ratai. And Michael Ratai will go to the line and shoot 2. He had 9 in the first half.
Got a chance to watch him when he was at Oregon State playing for Wayne Tinkle. 3 good seasons there. And then he decided to, as Oregon State kind of downshifted to the WCC, he decided to cast his lot with Baylor in the Big 12. Another one of those German kids. Rich, German basketball right now is at a zenith when it comes to young players. We're going to see some of them this season.
Why is that?
You know, I talked to my German coaching friends, and, you know, European coaching is very rigid. By that I mean it's fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. But the German coaches really allow for freedom of expression. You want to give you an example? Dennis Schroeder, Franz Wagner, who's now an all-star in the NBA. So you're seeing more and more German wings and guards coming up because of the way they have a progressive look at the game of basketball. fundamentals, but also some freedom of opportunity to score.
Ratai, the second Bear in double digits. He is now 6 points shy of 1,000 for his career. He has 11. The Baylor lead is 8. Diallo, a little mini step back from the free throw line, and Zoom Diallo getting unlocked.
Yeah, nicely done right there. This young man played a lot of basketball last season for Danny Sprinkle. As a freshman, really one of the better freshman guards in the Big Ten last year.
6 points in the first 3.5 minutes of this second stanza. Here's Isaac Williams, and into the three-point barrage in the second half.
Not his strength necessarily, but that young man, only a sophomore, he plays with a lot of moxie and confidence.
Some might call it chutzpah.
Chutzpah, yep.
That was Williams' first 3 as a Baylor Bear. Here's Diallo. Tipped, but into the hands of the Huskies. And now Ratai, bottling up Wesley Yates. 10 on the timer.
Oh, nice pass.
Tucker, nice touch.
Good look by Diallo. Tucker stuck behind the defense. And a good finish on the other side of the backboard with that left hand. I'll tell you, the flow of this game, Rich, is picking up. You can tell. Good execution, good offense.
Turns the corner, and that's his specialty.
That's what he does. He's only about 6'1", but he's really, really good at carving out space, getting to the basket.
Danny Sprinkle telling his team in practice, when 10 has the ball, we shrink our defense.
They did not shrink that time.
Five minutes gone by in the second half, a well-played second half. Steinbach, offensive rebound. Can't get the putback to go. This time he does.
There's those great hands we talked about. He's not going to out-jump you, but he knows how to carve out space. He's a thick kid with terrific hands.
Working on back-to-back double-doubles now.
Yeah, and if I had a comp for him, he's like a young version of Jakob Poeltl, who played at Utah. And he's had a good NBA career so far.
Played for Larry Cristoia.
Well, and he played for 3 members of this Washington staff who all were assistants for Larry, ironically. Here you see those great hands again. Watch him run, and he's going to get positioned in the basket. Will they find him? Got to look for him. They had the guard on him.
Skillings trying to front Steinbach.
But a good job by Baylor pressuring the post feeders.
This Baylor defense has really bared its teeth. 5 on the shot clock. And number 5, Diallo continues the hot hand.
Let me tell you what Steinbach did right there. He had the ball. He knew he wasn't going to make a play with the clock running down. He threw it to Zoom, and he went right to screen and got out of his way, and he created a little space for Zoom.
Now a little dribble handoff for the Bears. Skillings turns the corner. Steinbach held his ground, but somehow Dan Skillings gets it to go.
That's a foul. Yep.
We have a timeout on the floor, 13:28 to go. Baylor offense.
Season game with only 2 guys who on both teams combined that played basketball last year for these 2 teams, yes.
Peterson misses. He hasn't gotten it going yet tonight.
Nice pass.
Powell showing the touch off the window over the outstretched arms of Steinbach.
The one thing we noticed in practice the last 2 days, there is great chemistry with this group. Scott Drew absolutely loves this team. Everybody's new, but you saw a great connection right there from Carr to Powell.
Steinbach can't get it to go. Baylor might be undersized, but they are not overmatched, at least not tonight. Carr had it stripped. If that's on Steinbach, that's going to be his 3rd.
And it looked like Cam got poked in the eye on that drive.
Instead, it's Zoom Diallo, and that's his 4th.
Hey, how about Kentucky, Louisville? You talk about great freshman, Mikel Brown, the freshman guard from Louisville. Malachi Moreno, the 7-footer from Kentucky. They got Jasper Johnson, who can really shoot it, who played with A.J. DeBancer and J.J. Mandequit and Koa Pete. If you are a college basketball fan, I think the theme of the first week of the season is the incredible freshman performances we've seen, and we're going to see more and more of them. By the way, Rich, at halftime, we discovered that Seth Trimble, North Carolina's guard, he broke his forearm in practice today. The timeline for his return is uncertain, but he did an absolutely incredible job of guarding Darren Peterson the other night in that win. And another freshman we got to mention, Caleb Wilson, added his name to the top 5 list.
It's Cameron Carr's first miss of the night from the free throw line. He was 2 for 2 in the first half. And so Zoom Diallo, one of those 2 returners for Danny Sprinkle from last year, will have a seat on the bench with 4 fouls. While we have a moment, I want to pass along our condolences. We found out Lenny Wilkins, the Hall of Famer, passed away earlier today.
88 years old, Brooklyn, New York, Providence College, long NBA career. And you know, one of the last guys, Rich, to be a player coach in the NBA. Nice drive.
And to quit. We call him pass first point guard, but he's shown the ability to get to the rim.
He can get to the basket, and he's got to be able to continue to put pressure on the defense that way. He's going to be he's not playing his best tonight. Got some turnovers, but he's going to be a very, very solid Big Ten player.
Now some wholesale changes on the next whistle for Scott Drew. 3 Bears at the scorer's table. Good chase down by Ratai, but it's Washington basketball.
Look for Steinbach inside.
Instead, it's
tough
Yates.
Shot. No, it's a tough shot. Good job by Steinbach tipping it out.
Now Mandequit hangs, can't hit. And we have a player down, and it looks like Bryson Tucker is
Kansas. You know, you go on and on. Some great people that make us look good. And that's not easy to do. Nice
we could not do our job without them. Here's Yates working on J.J. White. Size mismatch, can't take advantage. It's tapped away and Carr comes away with it. Now Carr got it tipped. Here's Steinbach in the open floor. Tried for the spin move, and they're going to get the foul on Cameron Carr, and that's number 4 on Carr.
Yeah, that is a play that Cameron Carr wishes he had back, because Scott Drew would rather Steinbach get a layup than Cameron Carr pick up a 4th foul. He's been the one guy consistently scoring, and now he's going to probably have to sit at least for the next few minutes. But Cam's got to know better than that, because this particular team, and he's telling them exactly that. Listen, your value to us is staying on the floor.
Tipped, taken away. And mark this time with 11 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Baylor, undersized already, is really undersized now. Danny Sprinkle has his 2 bigs on the floor. Steinbach, Kepnah on for Washington. And a traveling call on Dan Skillins.
Let's go back and amplify what you just said about the size inside for Washington. When you're a smaller team and athletic, and you're guarding that kind of size, what you want to do, the first post defender is the man guarding the basketball. The more pressure you put on the perimeter players with the ball, the harder it is to throw it inside. Nice.
They tried it, but Steinbach shuffled the feet.
You know, that happened so quickly. And I almost think he didn't travel, but you know, Doug Sermons has made that call 10,000 times. And I think Steinbach's wondering the same thing. He's so good at getting out of that screen in a short roll.
One of a number of things that stands out when you watch him in practice. Great footwork, great soft hands.
Yep, good body, good timing, smart.
Skilled beyond his 19 years, that's for sure. Here's another youngster, Yesufu. No good. And a whistle blows the play dead. Well, we just mentioned a couple of freshmen to keep an eye on throughout the season. There are a number of them this year.
There's so many around the college basketball world. We're going to pick out 4 right now in between these free throws. Everybody knows about the Bansa, Boozer, Peterson. Koa Pete early in the week added his name to the list. Nate Ament, who I saw against Duke a couple weeks ago, is an outstanding player for Rick Barnes.
Foster Pavilion goes silent, and Tunde Yesufu has his first free throw of the night. Here's a look at the top freshman.
Now listen, Rich, we did this graphic in the middle of the week, right? Cam Boozer, obviously outstanding power player, kind of a Karl Malone type. Koa Pete, an absolute freak athlete. We love him too. We love AJ DeBance's all-around game, no question about it. Darren Peterson is as good a guard as you'll see coming into the game. But there's one guy that needs to add his name to that list. And Caleb Wilson, we apologize to you because we put this list and video together on Thursday, and what you did on Friday against Kansas was absolutely magical. So our bad, but we'll make up for it throughout the course of the ACC season.
We're watching a Big 12, Big 10 matchup here tonight, friend. What do you think about the Kansas Jayhawks?
I think Darren Peterson's got to play near his best every night for Kansas to be as good as they need to be, honestly. I think he right now is the only pure pro on that team, and that's something that you don't say in the future. Watch out! Here comes Wesley Yates.
First 3 of the night by the Washington Huskies, and it brings the game back to a 2-possession ball game. Well, better late than never. Sports world by storm. Get all of your ESPN with the touch of a button.
I get to watch the Ivy League games this year on the app. If I want to tune in and watch Quinnipiac or Southeast Missouri, I can do it.
Here's Skillings, catch and release. Fight for the loose ball. Mandequit comes away with it. Chance to make it a 1-possession ball game. Peterson around and out. And Yesufu, strong hands with the takeaway. Tough shot, counted and one. That does not look like a freshman, friend.
Well, when he got the rebound, his eyes were up. Williams was filling the lane, but he had the point guard on defense. And you see JJ just slide slightly to the left. And a great finish. Watch this, coast to coast right now. He's built like a linebacker. And he gets the finish. And that's the guy, we said it earlier, he scores in so many different ways. He's not the most prolific high school scorer in this building tonight. There's a young man sitting on that bench at Baylor. His name is Tweedy Carter. But Tunde Yesufu did this at a high level in California.
Peterson, no. Kepnon keeps it alive. The grad student can't get it to go. And Powell clears. Peyton Powell sneaking up on a double-double. 9 points, 8 rebounds for number 44 in green. Balanced scoring from both of these clubs tonight. Williams surveys. Swallowed up, and somehow he still hits it.
Stayed in control. Good job of using that pivot foot.
Mandequit left alone, knocks it down, showing the scoring touch.
Yep, nicely done. What happened was Yesufu purposely went under the screen, dared the freshman to shoot it, and in rhythm was able to get a good look at the basket.
Just their second triple of the night. They're 2 for 15 in the contest.
And how about Obi Agman? He doesn't. Agman. He doesn't have a point yet.
Did he hear you? He heard you.
He did. Sorry, Obi.
We call that the Fran effect.
Obi Agman, young man from Denver, started his college career at Fort Lewis State, then to JUCO, then to Wyoming, and now he's here in Central Texas. Neither
of these teams exceptionally deep. That one swatted by Powell. 7 Baylor Bears have scored. Been at the rim, and Kepnon going to be called for the foul. Timeout on the floor.
And for somebody like me, I've watched that guy come from high school to you know, a great young coach, and it's fun to see.
And that Scott Drew coaching tree, which has already borne a lot of fruit, especially in the Big 12. You saw sitting next to Tweety Carter, Jared Nunes, who is elevated. He'll probably be next to head coach, and Tweety says he wants to be a head coach someday.
I think he's well on his way. Of course, you got Jerome Tang, you got Paul Mills, obviously Grant McCaslin's done a great job. You just saw John Jacobs down at FAU.
Bill Armstrong. Yeah. And now Matt Driscoll, who could be at North Florida, retired from there to sit next to Jerome Tang and win happiness.
Yep, there you see Jared Nunes, young guy from not young anymore, played at Valparaiso. His dad, a legend up in the Minneapolis area, former Minnesota star.
Diallo rises up and knocks it down.
He's had a good, solid game.
And a big second half, 10 points for Diallo. And Washington, we should remind you if you tuned in late, playing without the services of Bryson Tucker, who got hurt early in the second half, twisted his ankle and was taken off the floor.
Looks like he's back in the locker room right now.
Powell for 2.
Well, how good is he? You know how happy Mom is right now? She is going wild up there in that section behind the basket.
That's 11 points for Caden Powell.
Well, we mentioned it early, but if you tuned in late, Caden Powell is the first player from the city of Waco to play for Scott Drew. There's that slip screen. They've got it 3 times tonight. You run that against aggressive coverage, and they have really picked that pick and roll defense apart. And great to see. Played high school basketball about 8 miles south of Foster Pavilion at Midway High.
Was in the state of Texas last year, played for the Rice Owls before coming over here. Yesufu. And we're going the other way. It's Washington basketball. A balanced scoring from Scott Drew's Bears. Powell with 11. Cam Carr with 13. Yesufu's got a dozen. Ratai has 11. And Isaac Williams with 8, plus Dan Skillings has chipped in with 11.
And let me remind you, because you reminded me and our viewers, that Cam Carr went out with 4 fouls with about 11 minutes to go. And good to see. I'll tell you what, this kid Steinbach is about to maybe get a second triple-double of his young career, but he is such a great screener and then a great roller. And he just has a really good feel for the game. You're not seeing him at his best tonight, Rich, but you certainly see the potential this young man's going to be. And we talk about Germany, right? The all-time leading scorer at the University of Washington is Christian Velp. Sadly passed away a few years ago, a German. And then don't forget Detlef Schrempf, who only played in the NBA 17 years, 3-time All-Star. Patrick Femmerling as well. Also had a good career, so that pipeline, although it slowed for a while, is certainly back in effect.
And now it's back-to-back double-doubles for the 19-year-old Hannes Steinbach. He has 10 points now and 11 rebounds against Baylor. But his Huskies are down 8, coming up on 5.5 minutes to go in the game. Another slip screen, this time swallowed up by Steinbach. But here's Williams at the other end with the pick.
Back-to-back great plays right there.
Woo. 6 Bears in double digits tonight. Yates, good hands by Yesufu. And Somerville quiets the crowd, if only for a moment. Neither team very deep. As of right now, Scott Drew really only plays about 8 players, but everyone contributing tonight. Contested 3, no good from Yesufu.
Tough shot. It's not a shot Scott Drew wanted right there.
Steinbach wants it. Instead, a three off the mark, the rebound to Yesufu.
Obi's done a great job tonight of running this offense. Usually a scorer. Watch this sequence right here, Rich. Two back-to-back great defensive plays. Watch this block by Steinbach right there at the rim. And then as he tries to turn and outlet it, he loses it. And Isaac Williams showing you some hop right there. Freshman frustrated.
So now Powell at the line. He already has 11 points. His career high is 19. He turned that in last year as a Rice Owl against Memphis. Well, Super Tuesday's coming up soon. ESPN has a doubleheader for you. 9th-ranked Kentucky, 11th-ranked Louisville in the Battle of the Bluegrass at 8 Eastern. Then it's Creighton and Gonzaga, a couple of top 25 teams. Also, both games available on the all-new ESPN app.
Owen Freeman, who played last year, actually was hurt last year in Iowa. He's the replacement for Ryan Kalkbrenner for Greg McDermott. Really solid player.
Offensive rebound, Ratai, and a fresh 20 for the Bears. Cameron Carr back on the floor with 4 fouls. Coming up on 4 minutes to go in regulation. Picked off by Yates, loose ball. Williams first on the floor. 3 on the shot clock. Oh, Carr wanted to bring the house down. Instead, it goes out of bounds, and it'll be.
And Ron Sanchez, a great disciple of that pack line defense.
A lot of coaches like to have what I call a consigliere on the bench. Ron Sanchez, much more than that.
Yes, well, he's had head coaching experience, which always helps a guy like Scott Drew.
Blocked by Powell. After a slow start, the pack line has played pretty well so far tonight. Williams in the open floor.
I want to tell you something. The underrated X factor tonight for Baylor has been Caden Powell. He has absolutely given Baylor everything they needed on the defensive boards.
And Diallo will go to the line. Defense leading offense.
Yeah,
friend.
and when I think of Caden Powell, I think of like an NBA 10-year veteran that a playoff team picks up. And watch this, the defense leading to offense, and then we've already mentioned this young man, Isaac Williams, in the open court is absolutely electric.
You know, it was Obi Agnew who was quoted as saying the reason he liked Baylor and wanted to come here was because it's quote-unquote guard you. But you look at someone like Isaac Williams, reminds you of Maceo Teague and some of these other mid-major players who came over to Baylor and had a lot of success.
You know the difference? The difference is all those guys redshirted.
Yeah.
And nowadays, a guy like, you know, whether it's Isaac Williams or an Obi Agnew, they have to play right away so they don't get to know the system after a game or two.
For those of you not indoctrinated, in the second half, if an opposing player misses back-to-back free throws, everyone in Foster Pavilion gets a cupcake.
We do too.
Haven't seen that yet tonight. So Diallo made 1 for 2. He's got a baker's dozen to complete that. Baylor's lead is 10, counting down to 3 minutes to go in the game. The tie's been quiet in the second half. It goes off his leg, out of bounds. Washington basketball.
Ty was complaining that the ball was off the other, but he didn't do the. He didn't. Oh, are they going to challenge this?
And now Scott Drew.
Okay.
That's the universal symbol for a coach's challenge. And remember, in the first half, they challenged, they won, so Scott remained with his one challenge.
What I'm watching game to game is where does the video coordinator with the iPad sit in relation to the head coach? Because you have to get to the head coach quickly and tell him, Coach, we'll win this challenge. But I'm surprised that Ratai wasn't more demonstrative. Let's watch right now. So here's the drive. There's the rake.
Peterson got the hand on it. Looked like,
Now, did it hit off Somerville?
yeah, it definitely went off Somerville's leg, but the question I think will become, did it also graze Rattai's fingertips at the end?
Okay, there's Rattai. There's
the
Somerville.
knee, and did it touch Rattai's left fingertips?
Well, the angles we have so far, I'd say no. Now, those three officials, they probably got 6 different angles over there. Remember, it's got to be conclusive. Let's see if this one shows us. Let's watch now, because unless they have a better view, and they may, I don't know that you can overturn it unless you're absolutely sure. Now, that might be the view where you watch his hands. If he's not touching the ball, then it's going to be off Somerville. And I'll tell you, it's close. That depends on their angle. They probably have a better, you know, they probably have 6 different angles that they can watch. Must be conclusive. And it's we're being told that they only have the angles we have. It's got to be conclusive. I'm going to say that Baylor's going to lose this challenge simply because we couldn't tell.
The ruling on the 4 stands.
All right, and again, you know,
Baylor is out of challenges and loses the timeout.
it may very well have touched the white last, but there's no conclusive evidence that Rattai didn't have his fingertips on the ball right there, right there. And so, by rule, it's inconclusive.
So we've seen 2 instances, and we've seen 2 different outcomes tonight.
Doug Sermons was letting us know, but he should know. I don't need Doug Sermons, okay? No offense. I'll tell you, well.
Again, start of the season, so let's revisit this new rule, Coach's Challenge. And now Scott Drew is out of challenges and loses a timeout. Here's Yates.
Got to make those shots. They've had so many opportunities.
Steinbach keeps it alive. 12 rebounds for the 19-year-old.
Nice move.
Off the window for Diallo.
Yep. A lot of time left. This is a 7, 8, 9 possession game still. And what the Huskies need now is 2 stops, 2 scores.
Zoom Diallo has been almost all of the Washington offense in the second half. 13 points in the final 20 minutes for Zoom. Number 5 in white.
Gotta go.
Here's number 5 in green, Obi Agbin.
Good hands.
Good hands by Peterson with the steal. And now they want to push. Ball movement. Peterson 3. Got it! And a timeout called. Washington.
That's 130 seconds, plenty of time. There'll be 4 or 5 more possessions in this game. Minimum.
There's the freshman Yesufu.
And if you're Baylor, you don't want to put it on ice completely. You must look to score when the opportunity is there.
Agbin found the seam, but then got met with a wall of white.
Did you see Steinbach put one hand on the ball and just kind of almost cup it? All right, I told you, 2 stops, 2 scores. This could be the second score. No, good
Challenge
D.
3.
Yep.
And Cam Carr with his 4 fouls and a great closeout. Skillings. No, and the foul on Steinbach.
Well, Washington ran a staggered double play for Peterson coming off, Rich. And to your point, Cam Carr stayed right on his back. We call that caboosing the shooter. Watch him come right out of nowhere and contest the shot. And watch Peterson's got to hang in the air. When you caboose the shooter, you get your nose in his back numbers and you stay with him, and that's exactly what Cam Carr said. I don't think I've ever told you about caboosing.
No, I've never heard you talk about a caboose before.
Yeah?
Baylor now 15 for 22 as a team from the free throw line. Danny Sprinkle doing a little offense for defense substitution. Somerville out, Yates back in.
That means they're going with 4 guards and Steinbach. So you got a lot of weapons on the perimeter. And you're only going to be in a 2-possession game regardless of whether Skillings makes it.
Dan goes 1 for 2. He has a dozen. The Baylor lead, 74-68. 80 seconds to go in regulation. Diallo can't get that one to go. Mandequid comes away with it. And good Baylor defense again.
That's pack line right there.
Yeah.
Something happened with the shot clock. That was a great example of keeping the ball out of the paint. Hard to do with Washington with 4 perimeter guys. They reset it, Rich, to 10 seconds.
Doug Sermons was all over that.
Now watch Powell on the ball because Mandequid has had, now it's Peterson. They've had trouble throwing it in over the big.
They get it to Steinbach.
They got to go.
5 to shoot. Number 5 with the ball. Nope. Created space, but it's an offensive foul.
Doug Sermons was right in line with Diallo, trying to create a little bit of room to get the shot off, and he extended that right arm.
And Fran, Danny Sprinkle's best player in the half, Zoom Diallo, has now fouled out.
I'll tell you what, this is good defense. Look at Skillings, hold his ground. Little push off, the offensive player got the advantage. You have to call that. But again, Rich, we watched a number of games last year where Baylor switched at 5 positions, and it just wasn't effective. Tonight, you're seeing a little bit of that pack line defense. Packing is a foul off the ball, but really, really good job defensively tonight when it's mattered.
And that's the 10th team foul by the Washington Huskies, which will send Tunde Yesufu to the free throw line.
This young man is from Benin on the west coast of Africa. He came to California when he was a freshman. And the very first game he played in, Rich, as a high school varsity player as a freshman, he broke the backboard on a dunk.
This is that free throw. Stuck on 12 points is Tunde Yesufu. Coming up next, right after this game concludes from Waco, we'll send you to Sports Center. We'll fill you in on a busy Sunday in the NFL.
A big Jets win today. Huge win for the New York Jets.
That's 2 straight for the Jets.
Beat the powerful Cleveland Browns.
Time is of the essence now for Danny Sprinkle's Huskies.
Have to go quickly. Looking for a 3, might not be there.
And maybe not the one you want shooting it is the big man Somerville. Cameron Carr comes away with it, gets the foul, and will go to the free throw line. So Cam Carr, who led all scorers with 13 in the first half, then had to sit on the bench for a while with 4 fouls, has a chance to get his first points of the second half.
Rich, let's just revisit the fact that Baylor has returned 0 scoring from a year ago. We mentioned the trip to Germany and the World University Games. I was at practice in July. The chemistry on this team is very, very good.
And Carr is good. 14 points for number 43 in green. I think Scott Drew and anybody else close to this program would say the best way to describe Baylor at this point, 2 games in, a work in progress.
Well,
they certainly look good tonight.
Well, they've got 3 young big guys who are out, at least 1 for the year, and that would be Michael Perez, the Italian kid. Yes, Perez. He's also Dominican. I love that kid. He grew up in Italy. Jocelyn Bodo, they're hoping to get back. The transfer from High Point, they don't know. And then they're redshirting a young man named Mae Soroyo, who I love. He played at Blair Academy. Those are 3 young big guys, kind of in the mold of the big guys we've seen here in the past, like Jonathan Chamwa Chachua, Ojanwin, Nisi.
Flo Thamba.
Yeah, Flo. Flo was around for 16 years here. So they're shorthanded right now.
Mandequit cans the first of 2 free throws.
And JJ did not, by my estimation, have his best night tonight, but he is going to be a very, very solid player.
And he goes 1 for 2. It's must foul time, and Mandequit does. Picks up his third, and that'll send Baylor back to the free throw line.
Well, the Huskies will get Desmond Claude back soon, the transfer from USC, who averaged 15 a game in the Big Ten last year. Hopefully Bryson Tucker is going to be fine. They'll get some reinforcements in December with a young Serbian big man that's coming along.
Nikola Zapina, is who you're referencing. And then Jacob Ognasovic, who's a transfer from Lipscomb.
Player of the year in the A-Sun. You need to start showing up and showing that team that you're back the way we remember it under Eddie Sutton and some great coaches, Travis Ford and others.
1 for 2 for Carr. 30 seconds to go, and it's go time for sure for Washington.
They can't be dribbling around. They got to shoot it.
Yates missed an open layup. Powell comes away with it, and now Baylor will dribble it out. Caden Powell ends up with a double-double, 12 points, 10 boards. Cam Carr leads the way with 16, and 6 different Baylor Bears score in double figures as they hold off a good Washington Huskies club in a key non-conference battle for both programs. Your final score from Wake